Welcome. Today, we are exploring lists and tuples. Think of these as containers that let you store multiple pieces of information like names, numbers, or settings all under one single variable name. They keep your data organized and in a specific order so you can find exactly what you need later. To understand the difference, imagine a shopping cart. You can add, remove, or swap items anytime. That's a list. Now, imagine a sealed gift box. Once it's packed and taped shut, you cannot change what's inside. That is a tuple. Lists are for dynamic, changing data. Tuples are for fixed, constant data. Defining a list is simple. You use square brackets and separate each item with a comma. In this example, we've created a list of fruits. Because lists are mutable, you could add or remove items later if your needs change. It's the go-to choice for collections that grow or shrink. For tuples, we use parentheses instead of square brackets. Once you define this sequence of colors, it's locked in place. Using tuples is a great way to protect your data from being accidentally modified by other parts of your code. It ensures that the structure remains exactly as you intended. To access specific items, we use indexing. Remember, Python starts counting at 0. So, index 0 gets the first item, and index 2 gets the third. This works exactly the same way for both lists and tuples. Just place the index number inside square brackets after your variable name. One of the most important things to know is that lists are mutable. This means you can change, add, or remove items after the list is created. By targeting an index, like 0 in our example, we can reassign the value apple to orange without creating an entirely new list. Tuples, however, are immutable. If you try to update an element inside a tuple like we just did with the list, Python will throw a type error. This strictness is intentional. It ensures your data remains protected and constant throughout your program's execution. Lists come with many built-in tools to help us manage data. The most common one is the append method. By calling .append followed by a value in parentheses, you can dynamically grow your list by adding new elements directly to the very end of the collection. Whether you are using a list or a tuple, you will often need to know how many items it contains. We use the built-in lay function for this. Simply pass your collection into the parentheses, and Python returns an integer representing the total count of elements inside. To access all items at once, we use a for loop. By saying for color in colors, we tell Python to visit every single item in the list sequentially. This is a very efficient way to perform an action on every piece of data stored in your collection. Python allows you to perform packing and unpacking. A quick tip before we wrap up. The most common mistake for beginners is swapping brackets for parentheses. Remember, if it's square, it's a list, which means it's flexible. If it's round, it's a tuple, which acts like a locked container. Getting these symbols right is your first step to avoiding confusing errors. To wrap up our lesson on collections, Think of lists as your go-to when data needs to change, as they are fully mutable. Use tuples whenever you need to ensure your data stays constant and safe. Finally, remember that you can always retrieve specific items from either structure using an index starting at 0.